Hello, I'm starting off this vlog from the middle of the week instead. This week, now that I've done a few of these vlogs, I figure that it's fine to pick up from the middle of the week instead of the beginning of the week, because the beginning of the week is the same as the end of the last vlog that I did. So this is how I'm going to do them from now on. Still continuing with my Sanderson reread. I was on page 645 and I'm now on page 729. So again, haven't really been prioritising my audiobook listen, but that's okay. It is my first week at my new job this week, so I haven't had as much reading time for that reason, which I anticipated. I'm also continuing on with The Binding by Bridget Collins. I'm currently on page 213 and it's 438 pages long, so I'm hoping that I'm going to finish this within the next couple of days, which if I do, well, when I do, I will then be picking up Dry by Neil and Jared Schusterman, which is a dystopian novel that I am super excited to get into. So we'll see how I do. Okay, so end of the week and we're here for a check-in. I have Haruki here demanding fuss, so I'm doing this one-handed. But I started off the week on page 729 of Oathbringer and I'm now on page 831, so pretty much exactly 100 pages read. Same as before, not my priority, it's fine. I finished The Binding, which I did wrap up in my August wrap-up video, even though I technically finished it in September, but I finished it on the 1st of September, so it's in my wrap-up, which I'll link for you. But unfortunately, I was not a fan of this one. It was very, very slow in terms of plot progression. There wasn't much differentiation between the characters, and as a character-driven reader, that's something that's quite important to me. I felt reasonably connected to some of the characters, but they did feel a little bit samey, which was a shame. Also, I picked this book up and was interested in this book because of the magic system that was proposed by it. So this follows a character named Emmett who is taken on as an apprentice binder, and binders in this world are people who can take away others' memories and put them within the pages of a book. And this lighting is really bad. That's better, isn't it? And once they've been put in the pages of the book, the person no longer remembers that memory. So that's a really interesting magic system in my opinion, and that's why I was interested in reading the book. But actually that's not what the story is about, and the genre pretty much completely changes about a third of the way through the book. So unfortunately that was a bit of a miss for me, and I talk about that a bit more in my wrap-up, so if you do want some further thoughts on it then feel free to head there, but I don't like to be too negative, so I don't want to talk about it again. Then I moved on to pick up Dry by Neil and Jared Schusterman, which I am on page 232. So I'm about 2/3 of the way through this one. It's about 400 pages, so I've got about 170 pages left, and I'm really, really enjoying it as anticipated. It's really, really good. It follows several characters in Southern California during what they're calling the tap out, when the taps run dry and there's no longer any drinking water, and things start to go a little bit wrong, really. It's kind of, I thought it was more dystopian in genre, but actually it feels a little bit more what I like to call disaster movie genre, so it's quite a lot of tension. I'm enjoying all of the characters. We do have a few main perspectives. I suppose our main protagonist is a girl named Alyssa, And then we also have some perspectives of other people that are around her. And I haven't finished it yet, so I don't want to give any final thoughts or anything, but I am really, really enjoying it. And I probably would have finished it already if it were not for the fact that I am actually also reading The Player of Games by Ian Banks, and the reason I'm reading this one at the same time as this one is because I actually have, this is a book club book, not a YouTube book club, a local book club, and the meetup for it is tomorrow, and I've only just started it. I'm only on page 84 and it has 308 pages and I have until 7 PM tomorrow to finish it, so that's great foresight on my part. But I didn't start it earlier because I was waiting for the audiobook to come in, because this is sort of classic sci-fi, which is a genre that I struggle with, and also the print font in here is awful, and I thought I'd really struggle to read it just physically, so I put myself in the hold queue for it on Libby as well. And that only just came in on Sunday, I think. So I only was able to start this on Monday, and then I was just sucked in by Dry, but I haven't finished Dry in time, so I'm having to focus a bit more on this one. I've got about 4 hours of the audiobook left. Well, it's 8 hours left, but I listen to it at 2 times speed while I'm following along, so 4 hours. So I'm hoping I might have time to read about another hour tonight, and then I'll have 3 hours to get through tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be able to do about an hour of that on the way into work. I've got my lunch break, and then the book club isn't until a couple of hours after I finish work, so it should be okay. But this is a book about it's like in the future, and there's really no such thing as, you know, needing money for anything anymore. Nobody needs to work, everybody just has everything that they could ever want, and so people just play games for fun. And our main character, Journo Gerge, is a really famous and popular game player. He does never lose, he's really, really good, and he gets offered an opportunity to go and play a new game that will involve a lot of travel to get to the game, a lot of learning about the game whilst travelling, which if he wins he'll become emperor of a culture that's just been discovered. So it's odd and very, very game focused, so if you are like a video gamer or something and you like that kind of thing, then you probably quite enjoy this. I said to Lee he'd probably quite enjoy it, but he never reads, so he probably won't read it. I was dubious for the first maybe 50 pages, but the last 30 pages it started to get a bit more interesting. As with a lot of classic sci-fi, there are some disturbing and unnecessary sexual references. I don't know, is that just a thing in classic sci-fi? Because it feels like every classic sci-fi I've read so far, which admittedly isn't very many, but everyone I've read has just included really random, unnecessary, out of context sexual references. So this was published in 1988. I don't know if that's a thing, let me know if you know, but yeah, just strikes me as a little bit odd. So that I will need to finish by tomorrow. I'm kind of enjoying it so far. I'm not really that far into it. Dry, I will definitely finish within, well, once I finish this, I'll pretty much finish this straight away afterwards, so I'll probably finish this by Friday night. And then I'll be moving on to my next book club book. Let me just grab it. This is for my sister book club with my sister, funnily enough, and also one of my friends has joined the book club now as well, and we'll be reading Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. So if anybody wants to join in with us, then feel free. That would be fun. But this, I will read you the blurb. 7 years ago, the Atta Gratis set off on a voyage to the Mariana Trench to film a mockumentary bringing to life ancient sea creatures of legend. It was lost at sea with all hands. Some have called it a tragedy, others have called it a hoax. Now a new crew has been assembled to investigate, and they'll discover that whatever is down there is definitely no joke. And this is a siren story, and it's supposed to be a more traditional siren story, as in these sirens are bad and they want to kill people, and it is supposed to be horror as well, which I know is not usually my genre, but I'm giving it a go. It's 484 pages as well, so I hope it's not too scary because that's quite long if it is, so we'll see how that goes. But that's been my week in reading, and I've quite enjoyed myself, with the exception of the binding, which was a bit of a shame, but I'm really enjoying this one. I'm starting to enjoy this one, and I of course love Oathbringer. And yeah, if you've read anything that you've really enjoyed this week, then let me know, and if you've read anything that disappointed you, let me know. And that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and want to see more like this from me, then do think about hitting that subscribe button, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks!